Yes, global greetings, ones and ones, twos and twos, threes and threes, um, fours and fours. Yeah, yeah, we're about to get into a little meditation tonight. Check us out. You can get your value-added base, our natural. Our top seller is the natural healing oil spray or the tincture form of it. We got a few new products online, so you can check them out and be sure to support us. In the meantime, I might be absent from the screen for a bit during the initial part of this because I will be engaged in a bit of activities that's not so YouTube friendly. However, in the interim, I am going to get into um something I bumped into online that I found quite interesting. And is not necessarily the best. We're doing some works and getting things organized and sorted out. Um, mhm. Okay, so let me check this and then I will get back. The battery seems to be a bit low as well. Yeah, but let's get into this.
Welcome back to SoFlo TV again, everybody. Right into this story. This one right here is about Andrew Hamilton, who is described in Jamaica's news media as a drug kingpin, and his $1 billion portfolio. Billion with a B. I didn't say million with a M. I said billion with a B. This man is in big dog status as far as money concerns, and property are after his assets. And the goal is to confiscate $1 billion worth of his assets. Lo and behold, today, which is November 27th, 2023, the news headline in Jamaica Gleaner says $1 billion takedown, meaning they have now become successful at confiscating everything that this man has amassed. Did I mention that he was once a police officer and a postal worker? But the U.S. is also involved. So here goes the story from back to front, front to back. Let's take it back from when this all started, say about 2013. And I'm going to bring you up to speed to 2023. The first one says, as the $500 million empire of convicted Jamaican drug kingpin Andrew Hamilton continues to crumble, the Financial Investigations Division, or FID, revealed that it had identified several properties that it will seek to have forfeited to the state. In other words, taken away and turned over to the government. The head of the FID at the time, Justin Felice, told the Jamaica Gleaner properties, both residential units and open lots, are valued at large amounts of money. Detectives from the FID swooped down on the Central Sorting Office on South Camp Road in Kingston and seized a late model Mercedes-Benz motor vehicle believed to be among Mr. Hamilton's assets. Felice explained that the car was among 19 assets restrained by the court, but said that the FID was having difficulties locating this particular piece of asset, the brand new Mercedes-Benz. We have been looking for that car for some time now, he told the Jamaica Gleaner. Now, full disclosure, court appearances. The disclosure by Felice came hours after Kingston-based attorney in the corporate area resident magistrate's court on Monday on laundering charges. Even his attorney was arrested. The other accused are 53-year-old insurance contractor Paulette Higgins of the Norman Gardens, Kingston, and 50-year-old postal employee Janet Ramsey of Portmore, St. Catherine. A fourth accused in the case, Anne-Marie Cleary, did not appear in court because she had been admitted to the Manchester hospital. Now, during the brief hearing, prosecutors charged that between 1998 and 2009, Mr. Hamilton, who had pleaded guilty to drug, money laundering, and firearm-related charges in the United States of America. Drugs, money laundering, firearm-related charges is what he pled guilty to in the United States of America, not in Jamaica. And also said to have acquired 30 pieces of property valued at $500 million. Now, as a result of his conviction, prosecutors say that the United States Drug Enforcement Agency, or the DEA, reached out to Jamaican authorities and said, listen, we are requesting a civil investigation into this man's assets in Jamaica. Making a whole lot of money here, and we've tracked the money, and the money was all coming to Jamaica. So what was he doing with this money while he was on the island? Now, you got to understand, big wigs, invested people started pulling away from him in our business. It might expose others. So what they did, this triggered a massive money laundering investigation, which, according to prosecutors, began way back in December of 2012 at the request of the United States of America, DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency. And it resulted in a Supreme Court judge issuing an order in September that year, barring Hamilton and his relatives and his friends from disposing of their assets. Investigators believed that they registered for him. So they couldn't, the family members couldn't get rid of the assets, friends couldn't get rid of their assets, and he for sure himself could not get rid of his assets. In other words, he had assets that were probably in other...
Persistent, them man be. Since 2012, them man are investigating, 2012, them man are lit up, them man still continue and do what they needed to do until 2023. Is now the takedown. So, like, it's just quite interesting to listen to the story, though. So, we continue sharing. Hope everybody is blessed.
Names, friends and family members' names, but he was the owner of them, and that is what the law believed at the time. So they just stopped everybody from doing any kind of business with any of their properties while the investigation kicked off. Before the restraint order was issued, prosecutors say 11 properties that were linked to him, they refer to as were valued at $324 million. Those were transferred. Further, prosecutors alleged that Satterthwaite, who is the attorney, was the person also responsible for maintaining the properties and collecting rent. In granting bail, Senior Resident Magistrate Judith Pusey called the allegations very serious. It's not a simple issue. The allegations speak about large sums of money. However, attorney-at-law Ian Wilkinson, who represents Satterthwaite, this is an attorney, Ian Wilkinson, representing another attorney who is in trouble, Satterthwaite, cautioned that these are just figures being bandied about. These people are innocent until they're proven guilty, he emphasized. Satterthwaite, Higgins, and Ramsey were each granted bail in the sum of $10 million, and they were ordered at the time to surrender their travel documents and to report to the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Task Force head office every Monday. A stop order was also placed on them at all the ports in Jamaica. In other words, they can't leave, period. And if anyone sees them trying to leave, they are supposed to apprehend them and call law enforcement. And at the time, they were scheduled to return back to court, and the struggle continued. Now, I remember covering this a few years ago. Fast forward to today, right? Let me get you up to speed some more. So here we are in 2022. This is before we hit 2023. This is the next step. In 2022, what happened was this same person who was described as a drug kingpin, he was fighting to keep all his assets. So he had some paperwork done, and he was supposed to take it to a higher court and try to get the law to be on his side so he can keep his assets. So let's go off this one. Jamaica's second highest court had turned away a last grasp attempt by a convicted drug boss to hold on to his portfolio of assets that were at this time. The Court of Appeal on Friday refused to challenge a forfeiture order that was made by the Supreme Court on July 8th that handed possession of his assets over to the government. Wow. An application for the forfeiture ordered to be placed on hold was also refused, according to the ruling by a panel of 3 judges. The order stripped Mr. Hamilton, stripped his associates and members of his family, including his elderly mother, of 14 multi-million-dollar homes. Not a house worth 14 million, 14 homes that were all multi-million-dollar homes. 4 motor vehicles for $19 million and a bank account that contained $19 million. Now, some of the assets have already been transferred to the state. It is the largest forfeiture order that was obtained by the Financial Investigations Division, FID, which is the agency that enforces Jamaica's Proceeds of Crime Act, or POCA, POCA. The legislation crafted, so in other words, Jamaica has POCA, and POCA are the people who come after you, and they say, where do you get this boat from? How come you have a yacht? How come you have these big Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, all brand new, and build up this big old 3-story house and all this? We have suspicion that you might be dealing drugs, or this money comes from somewhere that is ill-gotten. And then they dig into your finances, whether it's by the request of the United States of America, because you might have made the money over there as a big drug dealer, and then came back to Jamaica thinking you're going to retire in peace and safety, and then the U.S. arm of the law contacts Jamaica